Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome. It's gone 10:30. Apologies for keeping you out in the lobby for a couple of minutes, but I'll open the meeting now and welcome everyone, members of the public, members of the press, executive and deputy mayor and councillors this morning. And first up we will have all stand for the karakia, please. Tue ki te Māori o te whenua, tue ki te mana o te tangata, tue ki te pono, te araha, ki piki, ki heki, ki te tamata, hui e taiki. Thank you very much. Apologies we have this morning from Councillor Karen Fletcher and Kirsty Truman. Any other apologies? Otherwise a full house. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Lachlan. Could I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Shepherd. All those in favour, please say aye. Against? Carried. Very good. Any conflicts of interest? Just to let people know that the meeting will be recorded and uploaded later to the council YouTube channel. Are there any conflicts of interest pertaining to the items this morning? No, straightforward. Okay, we'll get on to item 5.1, local water done well, hearings and deliberations on future water services delivery model. And very warm welcome to Mr. Tony Hale and Joe Walton to speak the members to start with, please. Thank you. Thanks.
Good morning, Your Worship, elected members, and obviously we're here this morning to hear from submitters to give their presentations on the consultation that's been done for the future water services model, and we've got quite a bit of information in the paper which is in front of you, but I thought I'm not going to go into any great detail here, but really give the opportunity for people to talk on this. We've got 4 submitters. So without any further ado, I leave it to you, the chair, to carry on.
Nothing from Joe? No? All good? Okay, well first up we have Te Moana Nui Ramaka on behalf of the Waipahihi Marae. So we've allowed sort of 5 minutes each, but we'll just see how we go. Kia ora, tēnā koe, Te Moana. Nice to see you. Submitter number 7.
Kia ora. Kia ora mai tātai tēnei te mi atu kia koutou, kei te haramai kei konei ki te whakarongo ki te kōrero i te ata nei. Ko waio ko moana nui Ramaka tōku ingoa. So I stand here today as a representative of Ngāti Hine Rau, Ngāti Hine Ure. So these are hapu that have exercised mana whenua and ahi kā with deep ancestral ties to the wai and the whenua of the soil here. Let's be clear. So this is just not about pipes, infrastructure and compliance. This is about tino rangatiratanga. It's about kaitiakitanga. This is about protecting the mauri of our wai and making mokopuna decisions. So under this roof, he whare hono o tūwhare tō. It's a symbol of Ngāti tūwhare tō's legacy, culture, and it's a collective vision for a thriving future. This is where Taupō District Council and the Tūwhare Tō Trust Board sit side by side, not just as partners in governance, but as tangata whenua and tangata tiriti. And if you go down the bottom, you will see around us that the walls are adorned with decoration, but these are what we call kōrero tuku iho. They speak of whakapapa, they speak of whenua, they speak of wai. This is because Māori art that adorns this space is not just purely ornamental, but it's foundational. It reminds us that decision-making here must reflect our shared obligations and layered histories. This whare isn't just a chamber. It's a commitment to partnership, protection, and participation. So when we sit together in this space, we are just not passing policies, we are shaping futures grounded in mana and mutual respect. The Taupō water future must reflect Taupō's identity. And that identity is not just geographic or economic. it's cultural, it's spiritual, it's historical. So the choices you make today will either embed their truth into your governance structures or erase it under the weight of regional bureaucracy, generic solutions, and disregard for your te tiriti partners. So we've gone ahead and reviewed the three options presented and offer the following. Option 1, in-house delivery. It's probably the closest thing you have to what we would call real kaitakitanga. It retains local control and creates a meaningful space for hapu input. It's not perfect, but it's grounded. Option 2, join in Waikato water. Well, this straight away dilutes our voice. It might offer technical scale, but it trades away local values. So we need tailored solutions, not universal approach. Option 3, a standalone Taupō CCO. Looks promising on paper, but comes with heavy governance and cost burdens. And without kaitiaki checks, mission drift is real. So we propose something bolder, something smarter, something future fit for purpose. We come up with an option 4. Te manoa wai taupo. It's a hybrid model that fuses an in-house ownership with true hapu co-governance and shared back-office efficiency. So what would this look like? You'd have a governance board with equal seats for council, for hapu, and one independent water expert chair. You'd have a statutory kaitaki panel to guide decisions on cultural flows, mahinga kai, and the protection of what I would call taonga species. There would be no asset transfer. Core infrastructure would remain with the community of Taupō. A joint audit framework, public dashboards, and annual performance checks, because accountability is non-negotiable when we talk about our water. This is not just a structure. What I'm sending you is a signal that Taupō doesn't just comply with central governance, we lead. As our tūpuna have always done, we honour te tiriti, we embed te mana o te wai into our system, not just our slogans. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're asking for isn't radical, it's reasonable, it's responsible, it's resilient. You said you want a local, sustainable and future-ready system. Anei, this is how we do it. Water connects us all, but how we govern it, that defines who we are. Some might say co-governance adds complexity, but I say so does ignoring it. The real cost lies in conflict, litigation and community distrust. We've seen what happens when decisions are made without us. Resource consent gets challenged, relationships fractured, and delays that cost everyone. With option 4, we avoid that. We design with intention, but not just inclusion, but partnership, and not tokenism, but shared leadership. We bring the lived experience of tangata whenua, the intergenerational memory of these waters, and the urgency of guardianship. We also bring solutions, so it's not all about matatini. We're not asking to be consulted after decisions are made. We're ready to build them with you from the outset. We want to pilot innovation, mātauranga Māori and monitoring, AI-driven leak detection, and I can help you there, and local training pathways for our rangatahi, mine and yours, to work in water infrastructure. So this isn't about slowing things down, it's about building something that actually lasts. So finally, choose a model that carries not just compliance, but conscience. He taonga te wai, mā tātou mō ngā uri whakatupu, ai nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. Kia ora. I would stay for questions, but I think you fellas look really busy anyway, and I've got another hui. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, T. Thank you. Kia ora. Kia ora. And interesting submission this morning. Okay, next up we have Mr. Victor Burak. Submitter number 8. Victor, are you here? Oh, he's not here? Okay. Chris Hector. Submitter number 103. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, Your Worship and elected members. I don't quite have the presentation that the last submitter had, so I'm just going to run through what we put down. with this, I agree that we're best to stay in-house. I believe that Taupō District Council is doing a very good job with the water services at the moment, and we're looking for equitable service for everybody, so everybody gets an equal level of water services across the district. I believe we've invested very well in our assets over the last 10 years, and that's down to the council delivering funds to allow that to occur. And as a result, we're actually punching well above our weight across the country, I believe. I have a company, and we look after 4 other councils at the moment, and I believe that TDC are head and shoulders above some of the others that we're actually doing work with, and that can be seen, and it is recognised in the industry. So time and time again, TDC have taken out major awards at the WIOG conferences. Once again this year, we've had George Jackson, one of our operators, take out Operator of the Year. We've previously had Mentor of the Year, and the last 10 years we've actually had 6 awards. So I think that's quite a good reflection on what the team is doing from operational, and then that's delivered from the fish rots from the head down. So obviously the guidance is given from the management, from the people. It's endorsed by the elected members in the council, and I believe we're doing such a good job that we should actually give ourselves a pat on the back. So obviously I've said that we should stay in house. With the option of looking to become part of a shareholding agreement with Waikato Water, I believe that's something that we should look at, but it should be in a way at which TDC gets an advantage. There's no advantage going in a shareholding agreement with Waikato Water, but we could go into a large buying agreement with them. So there could be chemicals, or we buy a lot of pumps. There's a lot of equipment that we actually purchase. If we can get that at a reduced rate, but it doesn't mean that it's come at a cost burden joining Waikato Water, I believe that's something that we should look at, because anything that we can do to save money can create further investment into the community. And then, like I've said, I believe that we've been very proactive. We're building state-of-the-art water treatment plants at the moment in Kinloch, which is due for completion in the coming months, and then we're moving on to Amori. As a district, we should be proud of these. We've got a state-of-the-art treatment plant at Kinloch for the wastewater treatment as well, and that was a large-scale project that was installed in the last 3 years. I believe that we should be proud of that as well. And the council deserves to be known as a leader. So I don't think moving into another entity would devalue our actual input that we could put into them. So that's why I think staying local, staying in-house, we've proven that we can do a great job, and I just look forward to seeing as a ratepayer what we can do in the next 5 years.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much for your words. What's your company again?
ITSI Solutions.
ITS.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Chris. It might be a couple of questions, if that's okay.
Any questions?
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for your time today and your detailed submission. Any questions of Chris? No?
Get away.
Very clear.
Nice and easy. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Next up, we have Laurie Burdett, submitter 151. Good morning, Laurie.
Morning all.
Thank you for your time today, Laurie, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. I just want to say, first of all, much better submission form. The previous system you used to use never considered that my address existed in any form. So I always had to print it off, write on it, or do it myself. So lovely to have one that actually worked. Really big improvement. And I noticed Waipa's one as well. First thing I want to say, when Three Waters came out initially, I noticed this council was all in favour of joining it. And then New Zealand-wide patch protection reared its ugly head, and I've got no other word for it. So what we have now is not the ratepayers, not the taxpayers paying for it, but the ratepayers instead. So I'm concerned about that, because I think we need to always look at the wider interest. And I look with the fact that, and it doesn't seem to have happened, where the government has left it up to the councils to sort themselves out, that there's a real risk that some of the poorer, smaller councils could miss out. But I have to say, well done. This seems to have absorbed, except for Hamilton City and Waikato District. Coromandel's not there, is it, if I remember rightly? Looked through them all. So yes, good little group. I support your direction at the moment, which is keeping it in-house at the moment, but also having an interest in water done well, isn't it, versus Waikato water done well. I think that is a safe thing to do, and it might be useful to share services in the future, especially the expertise around water science and stuff. I think that's very important. It saves employing lots of consultants, which tends to happen at the moment. The only other small thing I'd like to say is, just listen with interest, is that I think it's sooner or later we do need to meter for water. Where I live in Marple Road, I haven't metered since 1985 when I moved on site, and I'm still metered, and I don't see what the problem is. It is the best water saving device out, and the only reason I can see for not meeting is political, more than factual, yes. And I think we should meter, and that's, to me, it's just the same as electricity. Hydro systems all down the lake, you use the water, you create power, and you transmit it to the people's homes. You gather the water, you treat it, and you transfer it to people's homes. We should be metered. And that's all I have to say. And just to say, well done. Really good consultation, I think, on this, and really easy to understand. The design of this was good. Simple questions to answer. It's great.
Thanks, Laurie. Thank you. Thank you for your compliments. Truly appreciate it and appreciate your time again today. You've been had an extensive history in this sort of thing in local government, central government, and what have you. So, and you're still taking time to submit. And thank you for your compliments about the submissions, because it's not an easy process to negotiate around.
No.
Are there any questions of Laurie?
I can escape.
Right, all pretty clear. Thank you very much, Laurie. Good to see you.
You're welcome.
First time in the new building?
Yes, I got lost. I tried to come in the wrong end.
Oh, okay.
You need a sign.
Yeah, very good. Okay, moving on. Tony and Joe, do you want to come back to the front and just as to where to from here? Just accept it as a written submission. Yeah. Was there a public one? Okay, Tony, what do we do now?
Thank you, Your Worship. Look, it's really useful, obviously, to hear from the submitters, and I appreciate them for their time. And you've got the paper in front of you. This has been a long journey to get to this point. And I guess I have echoed this in the past, and I will do it again because I have the opportunity to do that. I just wanted to just acknowledge and thank the significant amount of hard work that the team have done behind the scenes. And that's right across our organisation, from comms to finance to policy, as well as the waters team and Joe on my left. Huge amount of work has been done there to get to this point where we're at today. And this is, obviously an important decision that is going to be made. You've got a recommendation in front of you. You've got a significant wealth of knowledge and information there, what we've been gleaning over the last 12 months or so. And so you've got a recommendation. I'm not going to go and point out bits of the paper, but I think that I'm going to see if Joe would like to add anything before.
Yeah, thanks, Tony, and thanks to our submitters. It was great having, I think we had 220 submissions, and the ones that we heard from this morning, which was really useful. I think you've got all the information in the paper, but happy to take any questions. Just pointing out, obviously, we've got sort of two separate decisions to make this morning. One is about the delivery model, and the second is about the shareholders agreement. So we have kind of just laid them out as two decisions and recommendations. But yeah, happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Tony. Anything else?
Just to add, I think I'd also just recognise the work that our Chief Executive has done working with the Waikato Water team. And you'll see that in our recommendation, we've been got some favourable outcomes there. And again, we're happy to talk for any of those questions that may come up.
Okay, any questions of Tony and Joe before we start talking recommendations? Councillor Greenslade.
Thank you, Worship. Thank you, everybody. And I must admit, thank you very much to the submitters. We've obviously read all of those submissions and I found them very interesting. It was very useful. It's always useful to hear other people's ideas and different points of view, and it's very easy for us to sit around the table and be of one mind, but to listen to the community. And I did attend some of the public consultations, and that was very interesting, just chatting and talking to people. So I really want to publicly thank all of those people who've submitted to it. I've only got one small question. You were saying that in 2 years' time you're going to review this. What do you actually mean you're going to review? What are you going to review? What would that review look like?
Through the chair, what that actually means is that we will just review and see what's happened, what's changed in the environment, I guess, across the country. And as you know, I wouldn't have predicted that we would be here 18 months ago, and so we know that things can change rapidly, so that's really what that's referring to.
Councillor Campbell.
Through the chair, look, I don't have any questions for Tony, but I have come to a different conclusion than the recommendations, and I wish to speak to that. I have actually got a handful of slides which I'd like to speak to. It will help me explain. Can I? It's not a submission. I mean, it's a handful of slides which I want to speak to explain my position. Mine will take like 4 minutes, but I don't have a problem waiting. Yes.
So keen on the slides, but do you want to just present what you've got? Deputy Mayor?
If this is information that you're intending for us to take into consideration in terms of our deliberations and decision making, then that information should have been provided to us to consider well ahead of 2 minutes before we're going to make a decision. And finally, everyone else, 220 people plus, and some of those submissions have represented large groups of people, have all gone through an appropriate process to submit and have their say. We're the decision-making body to deliberate on what we've heard. If the council is intending to add more information than what we've already got, I question the efficacy of that or the appropriateness of that, and it should have actually been given to us long in advance of this meeting so we could consider that. He's actually undermining, effectively, 220 ratepayers and ratepayer groups who have gone through the appropriate process and submitted, and we've had the opportunity to read and consider all of that. I believe it's inappropriate, but it's your call as chair.
Any other views, councillors?
Well, through the chair, it's not a submission, and I'm not really adding additional information. It helps to visually talk to and explain how I've come to a different conclusion. That's all it is. It's four slides that I can talk to over 4 or 5 minutes. I mean, this is probably the most important decision of local government in the past few decades. I think it deserves a little bit more give, to be honest.
Is anyone inherently adverse to Councillor Campbell submitting the 4 points of view? Councillor Lachlan?
No, I'm probably going to agree with Councillor Taylor. We've got a formal process in place. This needed to be consulted on with the community if it's to be new information. So I'm happy for questions to be put, but I'm not interested in a presentation that's going to potentially put our process in jeopardy.
Well, through the chair, it's not any new information. It's just framing my point of view. It's not new information.
Okay, I'll let you go quickly. A 5-minute time line.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Yep.
Sorry, is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So don't worry about the PowerPoints. Just go to the point one.
Sorry, do I get to do the PowerPoint or?
No, I don't think so. I think just talk to it.
Does it?
If
Well,
quickly-
okay. I'm not. This doesn't involve questions to Tony. I'll just. If anyone else has got questions for Tony, maybe it should wait till after. I don't know. Get on
Get
with
on.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed that.
The submitter's got 5 minutes each. I suggest you have 5 minutes now as well, and just rattle through them, and then that'll be it. We'll go to the recommendations. Councillor Taylor.
If I suspect Councillor Campbell's going to go where he's going to go, and this is just simply relitigating matters that we have discussed and matters that we have already decided on and matters that he has presented to external bodies for deliberation, if that's where he's going, this is totally inappropriate and is borderline derailing a process which, again, I repeat, members of the public and 220 submitters have appropriately submitted, and it's undermining the goodwill of everyone in this community who have appropriately submitted and are expecting us to make a decision on all the information we've got, taking into account their submissions, which, like Councillor Greenslade, and I suspect most of the rest of us, have read all of them and considered all of them in detail. If this is simply a criticism of process or of individuals or of relitigating matters that we are well accustomed to, respectfully, Your Worship, this is inappropriate. And if that's the lane he's going to go down, I would invite you to cut him off immediately.
Is the Deputy Mayor correct, Councillor Campbell? Have you got?
No, you don't know what I'm going to say. I was elected
Okay,
here.
you got 5 minutes. Go from start.
Okay.
Now, go.
Lean and clean Taupō. I'm advocating for a CCO. Mr. Chair, colleagues, the decision for day for this has been pushed to July 29th. I see that delay not as a setback, but as a window, a chance to breathe, to reflect, and to challenge whether we're truly on the best path. So I've assembled a brief outline of what an accountable CCO could look like, and I'm calling it lean and clean Taupō. Why now, you might ask? Am I bringing this up now? Because despite months of workshops, the flow of material has not allowed for real scrutiny, no PDFs for us to share for third-party advice, and no analysis we could test.
Point of order, Councillor Taylor.
I want grounds.
That's exactly what I suspected he would do. It's simply relitigating matters which have been forwarded to the Ombudsman and complaining. And the mention of the 29th of July is completely irrelevant. It has nothing to do with this process. That's a completely separate agenda item. Again, it's relevance, and he's abusing the process.
Councillor Williamson.
Through the chair, I agree with Councillor Taylor. We've had it's a long process. We've had, and you say he's bringing it up now. It's just about a showboating and just politicking. So I think it's disgraceful. He's had plenty of opportunities to bring us up before now, and to do this now after a robust democratic public consultation process where we have a decision to make. Your prerogative at the end of the day is to be the vote for or against. We're not presuming at this stage. It's your prerogative to do what you want to do, but I think it's disgraceful.
Well, through the chair, I mean, I have reached a differing conclusion based on the information I have now, and I wish to continue, please.
3 minutes.
The most consequential, I'll have to talk quickly, the most consequential restructure in decades, yet councillors and the public alike have been kept in the fog, and the fog is not new. I no longer believe in local control, not in this district. What we call council-led is in reality staff-led. We are routinely presented with
I'll stop it there, Councillor Campbell. You're just taking the proverbial. So we'll move the meeting on, and I'll go to the recommendation. Unless there's any other questions of Tony and Joe? Sorry, Councillor Campbell, I'm not prepared to accept bashing of our people. You don't do that. And you continue to do it, and you will stop doing it.
Through the chair.
Right, Councillor Shepherd?
Well, through the chair, I'd just like to...
Sorry.
I would like to respond that this is the most important decision we are making for decades. I will continue talking until I'm turned off, but I'm just... Can't you? You can turn it off, but I'll...
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm going to acknowledge the work that's gone into this as well. I've taken a very keen interest in this well before I was even appointed to the steering group. I have read absolutely everything and then some. I've read every submission more than once. And on that basis, I mean, this was a really tough decision. It really was. There was so much information to absorb. There was the financial modelling. There's the case of the unknown. I feel as though we've been given the illusion of choice in the local waters done well realm. I think the government has made it entirely difficult, actually, for us to keep this dysfunction in council, and I think there's a reason for that. I do believe there's a direction of travel heading towards regionalisation, and I think that will be coming. So on that basis, I'm very much in favour of the in-house enhanced business unit. I don't want to confuse anybody there. It's not the status quo. It is quite separate. It is being held at arm's reach. Financial separation, the works. I'm in favour of that because I do believe that we can offer some good water facilities to our district, and we're best placed to make those decisions locally. But I recognise that the government has put quite a lot of regulation around that, and we have to find a way to be able to do that, deliver that within the regulation and the legal framework. So acknowledging that there is some change potentially coming, I'm also in favour of entering into a shared services and procurement agreement with Waikato Waters. I think that we are obligated, whilst we are embarking on this huge change in local government, to be prudent with our fiscal decision making as well. So I see moving ahead with an in-house enhanced business model whilst keeping our constructive dialogue with Waikato Waters over the long term, so that if the illusion of choice becomes exactly that, an illusion, and we're told that we must, I think we're in a good position to at least look at regionalisation that benefits our district. So I see this as a way of having our cake and eat it too. So I will be voting in favour of those.
Thank you, Councillor Shepherd. Anyone else want to comment? Cool.
Through the chair.
Councillor Campbell.
I'll tell you, I will absolutely be opposing this.
Thank you.
I will be opposing this, and for the reasons that this is the excuse to carry on a maintenance plan for continued dysfunction and lack of transparency, and that's what this option is. And we have an opportunity to do something better. That would be a CCO that could be accountable, designed properly and carefully done, could be held accountable. You won't let me talk to that. Democracy here is a lot of bull tech. Is there any point in saying any more? Probably not.
Thank you, Councillor Campbell. Any other comments? Councillor Greenslade? Sorry, Councillor Williamson first, and then Councillor Greenslade, I think.
I only want a quick comment. I just want a quick comment. 6 social media posts with good reach, the reach of over 4,500, 3,344 page views of local water done well with 989 active users. I think that says it.
Councillor Greenslade. Councillor Williamson.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm just congratulate Tony, Joe, the CEO, the amazing work they've done over the last 18 months to get to this stage, and I just actually support Councillor Shepherd's comments that she was very articulate and expressing the situation, and I totally support that as well.
Thank you, Councillor Williamson. Okay, we'll go to the recommendations. Councillor Taylor.
No, a couple of things to add in this. I want to acknowledge a number of people. First of all, the 220 individual submitters for taking the time and the effort to engage in the democratic process openly and transparently, and I thank them for that. I note, coincidentally, Taupō District had 4 submitters. They're in a slightly different position to us, and one of the other councils in the Waikato Collective had 20. So the fact that our community is so engaged is actually a really good, positive thing. The dilemma we've got is we would not be in the position we're in and having the options we've got had it not been for many, many years of prudent management and wise decision making and good investment. We would be in the same position as 2 or 3 of our fellow councils around the Waikato who have no choice because they haven't done things as well as we've done. And I want to thank Tony and the team, and Sarah's still there, I think she's gone, for the work that they've put into this. And I just pick up on one of the submitters, Chris, who spoke to us before. I read in his submission, the Taupō District Council is a leader, not a follower. So thank you for that. And we're in a very strong position. Anyone who looks at what's happening nationally with the current government will see that the writing is very clearly on the wall around the future of local government and local democracy. And the trajectory is very much towards joining up with others. We have the opportunity, because of the investments we've made, to stay in-house. I will be voting in favour of this because for the meantime, it is the cheapest and presents the best value for our ratepayers. But I need to be really clear, this is not status quo. There is no status quo in terms of this. The ground has moved fundamentally. We still, as a council, have to have full balance sheet separation of all the money coming in and going out in relation to waters. We have oversight from Taumata Arawai, the regulator. We also have oversight from the Commerce Commission in terms of fees and charges as it relates to water. So that is a fundamental step change from where we've been previously. But we're in the, I was going to say, good position, but it's also a difficult position of being able to make this choice today because of the good things that have happened previously. So again, thanks to the team, thanks to all those in the community who have submitted and spent the time to read the material. I'll be voting in favour of the option.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Any other commentary? Okay.
Yeah, just one.
Councillor Shepherd.
Thank you, Chair. I'm picking up on the assertion that a CCO is the only way to have the separation and transparency, but that's simply not the case. We're doing exactly the same thing by setting up an enhanced in-house model as we would have to do to set up a CCO without the significant cost attached to it. That's why the in-house enhanced model with meeting all of the regulatory requirements, including oversight from the Commerce Commission, and I've looked at the regulations that the Commerce Commission are wanting us to report on. It's quite significant. So I'm not concerned that we're not going to have the separation and the transparency. I'm quite happy that we're doing exactly the same thing that a CCO would require of us without the additional levels of bureaucracy and cost. So I remain as per my position earlier.
Thank you, Councillor Shepherd. Okay.
Well, through the chair,
we'll go to the...
I would like to add in response as also, I mean, I'm just letting the public know that we're on about 20 minutes of deliberation for probably the most important local government decision in decades. And notice the voice of dissent, being my own, has been quite thoroughly shut down. A CCO could, I mean, how long am I going to get to talk before you shut me down, Chair, or someone else, because I have a different opinion? That's what we're doing here. Does anyone see that? I mean, it's quite pathetic, actually. The point, okay. If I try to get to the point, I'll be closed down. So there's not really any point, is there?
Okay.
I think that this council is absolutely a joke, and bring on the election.
Thank you very much.
Get rid of these
All right,
people.
We'll move to the recommendations here now. And how do we want to do this, Shani? You've got the recommendations 1 to 7, Should we move them on block? Okay. Okay, the recommendations are there. We'll just get them on the screen so we can make sure we've got no typos. I'm sure Shani's done it all correctly. Just as we're doing that, I'm reflecting on our forebears, Mayor Joan, Mayor Clayton and Mayor Rick, and thank them for never deferring any maintenance on our waters. And that's why we're in such a good situation we are in today. We've got the luxury, as it were, of being able to start out on our own, but join up later. So just I looked up there and reflected, you know, I cannot remember them deferring any maintenance on our water supply or indeed our wastewater. So we thank them today. John, no, you moved?
Yeah, I just, sorry, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
I moved both recommendations.
Yep, so 1 to 7, is it, Shane? Yep, cool. No queries or questions on that, and it's been seconded by the Deputy Mayor. So I'll put that to the vote. Recommendation 1 to 7 be approved. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those against? Chair, I think I'm against the Claire, what you're against? I'm against the okay, the yeah. Yeah, so it's all up there. You've got it on your diligent. 1 to 7. The motion is carried. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I object. You object? Would you like that recorded? No, I'm objecting. Objecting. Okay. You'd like that recorded? Yeah, cool. Councillor Westerman?
It's quite annoying sitting here as a councillor, making a point of reading all the documentation and actually attending the meetings, normally in person, and have a fellow councillor who sits here and says he's had 20 minutes of consultation, which is absolute BS, and it really does not look good for you more than us.
Thank you, Councillor Westman. The motion is carried very strongly, and we support that motion. So the meeting is now closed. If we could have a closing karakia. No, we'll close it now. Yeah. Right. I'd better get the closing one, eh? In here, Terry.